Welcome back to our NSQ class. In our previous video, we educate you on how you can write your NSQ, how you can write your standard, your question and answer. So today, we'll be teaching you, giving you examples on how to write your personal statement, your weakness statement, your question and answer, your DO, direct observations as part of your evidence. So this lecture is going to be for the students and also for those assessors that are assessing learners in various institutions today in Nigeria. So today I will be looking at using a Pombly and piping in Pombly as a case study under the Unit 8 of the National Skills Qualification. So if you go, this particular course is a level 2 and it has 3 credits, and the learning guiding hour to complete this Unit 8 is 30 hours. So if you break 30 hours, you can now have the number of days or weeks that you are expected to learn this particular course under the NSQ. So the unit purpose. The purpose of this unit is to impart into the learner the knowledge and practical skills required in installing pipe work and other components. It is also aimed at applying leakages tests to ensure that there are no leaks in the installed system. So the unit assessment, the other time we talked about the various evidences that will be required in assessing learners' work. So today we have it depending on the kind of it depending on your subject area. There are some standard that requires work products, require you to bring work products and attach another evidence to back it up. So there are some that also require you personal statement, weakness statement, direct observation, recognition of parallel learning, and question and answer. So in this case, we are looking at the Unit 8, piping in Pombly. So under this Unit 8, you see there are all the questions that you are expected to answer. These are the questions available and the evidences you are expected to provide at the time of performing this task. So now, before that one is done, the assessor have to do what we call plan review and feedback for each of these learner. So now, as an assessor cannot just come and start planning with you. Both the assessor will first of all meet with the learner. After all, and also the training have to be conducted. After the training is being conducted, the assessor will now then meet with the learner and plan assessment. So today, I will give you an examples of planning, how to plan an assessment. So now, the learner, this is an evidence, a step-by-step on how assessment have been planned. Now, it's saying that, on the 15/9/2025, I met my learner, Mr. Bess Lawrence, at his workplace to plan his assessment to support him achieve level 2 plumbing installations qualification. We agree to assess the Unit 8 in piping and plumbing, covering all LOs and PC. We agreed that the assessments will take place as follows. So what this system is talking about is that because you already have the learners within your training institution, so now and you have taught them the Unit 8, for example. So now, as part of assessment to ascertain if this learner knows this job or not, you have to now plan an individual assessment with the learner. Each learner can pick a separate date which you can conduct the assessment on. So now, in this case, the learner choose 17 September and the time 10 a.m. and the venue of the assessment because it has to do with piping and construction. So now the person that wants to do this is assuming that okay, for you to carry out a proper installations and piping, you should choose a location, a site location where you can carry out these evidences. You understand? So now, so they choose the construction site located at Ikeja, and the duration of the assessment, he said, is 3 hours. Then they also said, okay, we agreed to use the direct. So the assessment methods to be used during that observation, the both of them they agree, which is the assessor and the learner. They agree that okay, we are going to carry out a direct observation. Direct observation means that you have given the assessor opportunity to record you while performing that task. That one will not act as your evidence of carrying out that duty. So now the action, what are the actions involved? So now during that assessment, the assessor may not want to just tell you because he has told you 17 September call. He need to also let you know that these are some of the things that you come with while coming for your assessment. It's just like a farmer going to the farm without no cutlass. When he now gets to the farm, maybe they now ask, where is your cutlass? Say, hey, I forgot my cutlass. So in order for the learner not to forget anything at all, so the assessor needs to now make the learner available, tell the learner, remember to come with your tools, so that when he gets to the side that they will not say, oh, I forgot these tools, because there is already an information that is being set aside for the learner. Now ensure that you read the unit standard very well. So you see that unit 8, they said ensure that since that unit 8 is what it's doing, ensure that you read the unit 8 very well, so that that day will not come and will say, hey sir, I forgot this line, I did not remember to read this particular one. So that one can now make you to lose some marks. So now remember, okay, I will call your supervisor to secure permission. The reason why the assessor is telling you that he will have to call the supervisor to secure the date, or to inform the supervisor that you will be carrying out an assessment that very day. Take for example the tools that you want to use for your assessment, they are in the FAST facility, and the assessor forgot to call the supervisor. As at the time you, or rather the learner, goes to the facility and now discover that the facility is shut down, nobody is at the facility. So because this learner, assessor has promised to call the supervisor, so the supervisor now understand that okay, there is an assessment so and so date. So the supervisor needs to be on ground to enable the learner get all the equipment that he needs to carry out this assessment. So now ensure that you come along with your PPE. So now PPE is also very important when it comes to assessment. So now because it's plumbing and construction, and the site location is a site which is a developing site, so it means that there are so many things that can happen. Maybe if the person did not put on his PPE, maybe he used all the clean dress to do the job, at the end of the day they will receive the back end. So, or rather, he did not put on the safety boots, something might also shook the person's leg, so that is why it's very important, or the assessor inform the learners to come with his PPE to the site. So now, and also the assessor also reminded the learner that I'm going to call you on the 16th, since your assessment is 17. So I don't want to, the reason why he's doing this, so that he will not want, some persons will just forget that okay, they have assessment on the 17th. So, and the learner, the assessor will not be at the site because the address is already there, will not be at the site, start waiting for the learner. So that is why it's also good, it's good for the assessor to call the learner that on the 16th, I'm going to be, since on 17 is our assessment, so on the 16th, I'll be calling you so and so time to confirm if you are still available. If you are not available, so that they can now reschedule the assessment. So that is why that one is there. So if the person is available, so the agreed date is being placed behind, he said the agreed review date. So if maybe after calling, after calling the learner, and they now discover that, oh, please, oh, I will not be free, oh, so their new agreed date will not be stated on this place. If maybe there is none, so the assessment still continue. So now these are the feedback during that assessment. After completing your assessment with that learner, as an assessor, you are expected to give a feedback to the learner, so that if the area the learner did not do well, you should be able to tell the assessor should be able to tell the learner, this area you did not perform well due to XYZ. So now here are some of the feedback. He said, well done, Bess Lawrence. You have demonstrated high level of competence in piping. Competency in piping. You demonstrated competence in plan reading, measurement, cutting and piping. You also maintain good slope for the waste pipe. Your pressure testing skills is commendable. You see, this thing that the assessor is writing, this feedback is in line with what the learner, that unit 8 that the learner has studied. Based on what the learner has done while watching the learner, so the assessor is now giving the feedback. And there is another feedback that the assessor is going to tell the learner. So in this case, the second part is that, okay, it's commendable too. You have achieved most of the PC in unit 8. However, you have not achieved PC 4.4 of the unit. I am also happy to inform you that through the holistic approach, you have also achieved PC 1.1, 1.3 of the unit 3 of health and safety. 1.1, 1.2, 1.5, 2.2, 2.3, 3.1 of unit 2 teamwork. Also, as well as 2.3, 2.3 of unit 3 on communication in workplace. You see, these are the reviews that the assessor has given to the learner. So assuming the learner completed all the units, all this review will also be carried out. So therefore, he now said, okay, congratulations, you see the date that the assessment was done, 17/9/2025. So now the next action is that plan for the next assessment. Read fault identification informally. Also remember that each assessment that you are going, the learner, each planning is attached to one unit. So immediately you wrap off one unit, you are expected to do another plan for another unit. So now that the learner has done this particular unit 8, so they also now plan for another unit. You understand? So the assessor also asks the learner, okay, go to the next unit and also read, and they will also now fix the date, the time of the next assessment. So that is for the assessment method.